cyberbullying. They are directly text messaging me bullying. And I talked with an officer this morning about this, and he said there's nothing they can do because they're fake phone numbers. Buckeye, what you just said made absolutely no sense. Well, one of the people who's doing this is my former neighbor. So, yeah. And they had all of my entire information published at one point on their Reddit site. So they doxed me a million times over there, and just, exactly. And the thing is I give a lot of information, true, when I talk, but this is the big thing. I'm not on here 24/7. You don't see what I'm doing when I'm not live. You don't see the paperwork that I've been filling out. You don't see the stress that I'm under. You don't see the long intervals in a bathroom because the stress has just destroyed my body. You don't see what is happening when I'm not here. And you are not living inside my body. So you have next to no right to even make comments about what I should be or should not be doing. You haven't seen the experiences I have as a Lyft driver. You have not seen these areas the way I have. So you need to stop trying to control what I do or do not do, because you are not me. You're not in my body. You're not in my mindset. You haven't had my life experiences. And so you need to just back the F off. And that's what I keep trying to tell these people who are going after me. You are making these negative assumptions, and the text messages are much worse. And I mean, you don't know. You just don't know. And I'm just so sick and tired of trying to explain and correct and ignore and block, and it's nonstop. It's every day, and I'm just up to here with the bullshit. And this is the 4th of July. It's supposed to be Independence Day. Well, it doesn't feel very independent when this is what you're going through 24/7. Oh, and yeah, you just go away with that stupidity. These people who think they can come in and scam a room with $4,000 for violation warning for hate speech and hate behavior. No, it is not hate speech and hate behavior when you're trying to defend yourself. Exactly. That is my point. Exactly, KK. How are they getting away with what they're doing? And I get content violations for hate speech. It's all I'm doing is saying what they're doing is worse, and yet, exactly, Michelle, it makes no sense. No, they don't, because every time I report them, I get no violation found, no violation found, no violation found. The only one that got a violation was they published my entire name. I had somebody come in here using my name on their thing and saying something derogatory as their screen name. No violation found. And why the fuck am I listening to what sounds like mariachi band music? Somebody's got a radio on very loud. Thank you for the roses. Watch my language. Feckety feck 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 feck. I use the Irish version. Well, let's see. My morning started with about 8:30 this morning. I don't know what the person was doing here in the hotel that got them in trouble, but it was 2 doors down for me. Bam, 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 bam. Come out with your hands up. That went on for about an hour. And then when I went to take Heimdall out, they were still there and said, please stay in your room. And so poor Heimdall had to wait an extra hour because they wouldn't let us leave because there was evidently somebody else still in the hotel. And yeah, it was a morning. I met a very nice young officer, though, who not only knew what Heimdall's name meant, he pronounced it right. The proper Norse pronunciation, Heimdall, with the little bit of a roll on the L and the R at the very end. And he said he was Norwegian, and I'm like, yes, you are. So he was loving on Heimdall anyway. And he didn't tell me what was happening, but he was like guarding the room that they evidently bashed in the door or something. It was a morning. And yeah. So we've been out a couple of times since then, but we got rained on both times. Before we could get back inside, it started raining. It's just one of those days. Relatively. It was not, considering all the threats and stuff that I'm getting from these people, it was not really conducive to my PTSD peace of mind to have that waking me up this morning. And poor Heimdall was losing his mind. I'm paid up through Monday night, so Tuesday morning is checkout. So I talked with him about it, and he said there's absolutely nothing they can do because they're using robo numbers. Thank you. Please do more than mute. If they come in with that, Kathy, just block them immediately. Yeah, that's not even a mute. That's just an instantaneous block. When they're posting my name, any version of my name as their name, that's an instant block. I told him that I have made screen captures of every single one of them, as well as blocking them, and then they come back with another one. And he says, yeah, they're robo numbers. We can't trace those. And I said, but I'm at least documenting what's going on. And he says, that's the best thing you can do. So, yeah, it's insanity. And do you know, I've almost reached, I'm rapidly heading towards 15,000 followers. And I was at 13 a day and a half ago. So it's... Oh, Anne, I am so sorry. Leukemia is a form of cancer, and cancer sucks. Okay. What the ever-loving F? Why would it? Yeah. Troll. Exactly. Yeah, Christina, it was a troll. Hey, Petty Crocker. Oh my God. I love that name. Since you have the gingerbread man for your... I have in my head, do you know the gingerbread man? The gingerbread man? The gingerbread man who lives on Drury Lane? Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's the Muffin Man. Do you know the Muffin Man? Why did I want to call it the Gingerbread Man that time? The Muffin Man that lives on Drury Lane? Yes. I do mean the Muffin Man. Oh, that's right. It was the Gingerbread Man who said it. Right. It was all from the Shrek movies. I don't remember which one, but it was from Shrek. Not as safe as the extended stay, but not bad either. I saw 1, 2, 3, and I think 4 of the Shrek movies. And I believe there was a 5th one, though I'm not positive. I just know that Oh, those movies are just too clever for words. I ate. I wouldn't say good, but I ate. My chicken and rice did come out delicious. Just my day was not conducive to having a happy stomach. So, yeah, and I only saw the first Toy Story movie and parts of the second. I did like Toy Story. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I should not have done that because now I'm going to start a chain of yawns. It was not my idea of how to start my day. That's for sure. Yep. Well, that was quite the stretch. I always keep one pillow for my between my knees, so it's under the blanket. So he's behind the hump of the pillow. You could just he's looking up around it right now. But he just did this little stretch. So he yawned too. He is sweet. I don't know why I'm yawning. I think the Shilajit wore off. I had an energy boost today that was definitely I haven't heard any yet. And last night they were so far off. Yeah, and you start your own chain reaction because once you yawn, then it's hard to stop. Oh, Candy Cane, you're in Memphis? I was born in Memphis. I've driven through it twice. I have never really seen Memphis. Oh, you're hearing a lot of them there. Yeah, I can believe it. Um, I do you remember? Oh God, about 15 years ago on Food Network, there was a couple that had a barbecue restaurant in Memphis, and she would do cooking at home with him, and oh, they were so cute together, and they split, and it wasn't a good split. And I wanted so bad to go try their restaurant, the Neelys. Yes, I wanted so bad to go try their restaurant. Never got to. They were adorable, and I don't know who cheated or who what, but they split, and that. Joanne, I have not been there yet, and I do want to try it, but I haven't had the money to. So I did too, Maddie. I loved their show. Get your man, chicken. Yep. Oh, really? Um, Actually, I'm going to throw you on this one. Neither. It's kind of a both. I make coleslaw with Marzetti dressing because it's coleslaw dressing. They did have great recipes. I made a couple of those recipes. Oh, yum, 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 yum. I loved the Neelys. It's too bad they did not survive the stardom. See, that's why I said it's neither and both. It's mayo based, but it's also vinegar based. So I think it has apple cider vinegar in it. But so both. The news was yesterday. From the night before's live, where a lot of people were encouraging me to start a fundraiser to get the van that has been offered to me. Leanne, are you still in here? I don't know if you heard. I did start a. It's not GoFundMe. It is a Give Fund Go or something like that. It's a different application. If you look on my tree in my bio, you will see it's the very first thing. But I did start one, and hasn't gained traction yet. But I only started it yesterday morning. After Give Send Go. Thank you. Why can I not remember the name of that? I just stalled. Wow. I have no clue where I was going on that direction. My brain just. I can't. They won't let you do that in here. I've seen a couple of van life videos, and somebody today sent me one with this cool tent that goes on the back of the van to extend your room, which I find really interesting. I should. I don't have a notepad right now, but I should, Grandma. That's a really good suggestion. Anywhere. That's the thing. It has solar. The one that I have been offered, it has solar, so I can pretty much go anywhere with it. I have been known to write it down on the back or inside of plates because it's the one thing I do have. Well, that was just delightful. Like I said, anywhere. And it is it's a minivan, so it's not going to be big and roomy, but it will be a roof over my head, my own roof over my head, and I could drive places with it and, not have to worry about hotel rooms. And Joe's been blocked. Don't even bother. That was an instantaneous block. I wish you could see what's going on right behind me. And he stopped as soon as I said that. What are you doing, you little psycho puppy? You want to come over here? Come on. Psycho puppy. And you can see he's been sleeping for a while because his fur is all mashed on one side. His mustache gets... No, he doesn't whine in his sleep. He's really one of the quietest sleeping dogs I've ever had. It's when he gets frisky, when he wakes up, that he starts doing the little and, stretching and bedhead. Yes, he gets bedhead. I've heard him snore once, and it was when we were in my friend's house, and it was that leather lounger that we were sleeping on, and he got his nose stuck up to the armrest. Because one side had an armrest, and he had his nose like this, and he was snoring because his nose was pressed up against it. But he's got a fairly good snout, so he doesn't snore very often. The shorter the nose, the more likely they are to snore and grunt and fart, and so forth. It's called brachiocephalic. Now, Uno would run in his sleep and make these little, what I call percolator noises. Not the eyeball, not the eyeball. Okay. I love you too. Thank you. Pugs can do that. Oh, and English bulldogs. Oh my gosh. I had a friend who would dog sit for her best friends, and they had a Frenchie and an English bulldog. And that old English bulldog, she would say, would be snoring from one end and silent but deadly from the other end. And she would be stuck in the toxic cloud. I was texting with her this afternoon. I haven't talked to her in ages. She's up in the Richmond area. She was like, "What are your parents' names again? I can't remember." And I was like, "Huh?" And she goes, I was trying to remember your parents' names. And I said, "Oh," and I told her, and she says, "That's right." But I said, "Adoptive or birth? Because I actually know all of them now." And she said, "No, the adoptive ones, the ones I knew." She worked when we first moved to Virginia. She was one of the security guards at Cedarfield, where my parents lived. I don't know if Deborah's in here. Hi from Richmond. She would know where the Hermitage at Cedarfield is. That's where my parents lived. And anyway, this friend worked there. No, don't rub that eye. Anyway. Heimdall, leave the pillows alone. Can you see him back against the picture? You are psycho puppy today. Our day did not start with calm and collective. They are not blocking random people. They are blocking people whose He thought he was the picture. Well, he was blending in with the picture. That his name means the Norse god who guards the Rainbow Bridge. It is from Norse mythology. Exactly. The bullies are coming out of the woodwork. They've been popping in with screen names that were doxing me, among other things. Not the flashes, but I still have the little floater in there, so I don't know what's going on, and I can't get that stupid doctor's office to contact me. So my next resort is to call Humana and complain to them that this doctor's office is flat out ignoring my phone calls. And could I please, please, please get a different doctor's office on my plan, because they are untrustworthy. So yes. Thank you. Believe in miracles. You're right. And there it goes. I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing, you. Anyway. Every time, and you got it started, and now it will not leave my head. Sometimes it is friendly crossfire, and they can come in with a backup account and say, hey, all I was saying was this, what happened? I wish I knew all the words to it, because it is a good song. But we've had a plethora tonight of people coming in, and they may be saying something innocuous in their message, but you look at their screen name and it wasn't innocuous. So oh yeah, and I told them if they come in and if they've been active on the hater groups, not just sitting there watching, but actively bashing me on, they are to, because they can view them, I can't. So anyway. Yeah, they've been coming in with screen names that were inflammatory. So yeah. They do, not me. I have blocked most of the people who run those groups, so I can't even go in and do anything with it. So I have to rely on my mods to handle it. So yeah, for one thing, if I don't know someone, I won't be messaging them. I mean, personally know someone. And I don't want to say I'm a member of the He-Man Haters Club, but fairly close. I had the marriage from hell, and he destroyed my life so much. And what he did to me was nothing compared to what he did to the 7-year-old next door. I had him arrested. I have not been interested in even talking, much less dating or anything else. That's how I feel. So unless I've gotten to know you really well through lots of lives where you've been in and very positive and upbeat, like David Johnson, I've gotten to the point where I trust, and there's very few. Most of the ones that I will talk with and trust are my gay besties, because I feel completely safe. Otherwise, I'm terrified 24/7 because of what my ex did. Matt, that's funny. No. And we're going to leave it at that tonight because I am not dealing with it. I'm telling you, they are loud tonight in the hall. "10 years to the last husband." Of course, the 9-year mark is when I had him arrested. So anyway, yeah. And I left Virginia because of him. I have family in Virginia of a sort. My brother Jim had 3 boys that he and his wife took in as foster sons. The youngest of the foster sons still lives in Richmond with his wife, 3 children, and now 2 or 3 grandchildren. It's so odd to think of Roger with grandchildren. I met him, he was 12 years old. Oh my God, I'm old enough to have... Yeah, anyhow. I have... Basically, he's a foster nephew and his wife, and their 3 kids, which would be great nieces and nephews. And then now I have no kids of my own, but they are family to me. And the sister to his wife, I got really close with. And so I follow her too. And she's still in Richmond. And their mom, who I think recently passed away, but they grew up in Richmond. So her dad was an iron worker. So Cindy, that's funny. Say what? I needed that laugh so bad. friend in Richmond that I was talking about earlier that asked me what my parents' names were. This is in the early days of having an iPhone. I was driving up to Mom's, so it was like 2008, 2009, I forget exactly when. And this friend Kat would text me. And she wasn't a long message text. She would like 3 words, 3 words, 3 words, 3 words, 3 words. I'm driving. I'm on 295. I can't pull over and respond. So finally I said something like, hold off. I'm driving right now. I can't respond to you. I will read your texts and answer them when I get to Mom's. Only that's not what Siri, in her infancy days, sent to her. Somewhere in there was a see you next Tuesday word that I would never have said to my friend. And when I got to Mom's and saw what my text read, I was like 10 shades of my dress. We're having fun with the ball again. Hang on. I need to put some food in that for him because he's down to just rolling it around for the fun of it. Yes, I stood up. I did. Oh my gosh. Where is... Oh, I put it in the other thing. Actually, I'm going to give you a pouch of wet food because I think you need it. He's had so much dry food lately. I think he needs the moisture from the wet food more than anything. These are meal toppers, but they're good. He likes them. Where's my... There it is. I laughed so hard I made my nose run because my eyes were watering. Anyhow, I got to Mom's. I saw the text that I had sent. I turned 15 shades of red. And I quickly sent her another text and said, oh my God, I did not mean to say that at all. That is what talk to text translated my bizarre Southern accent into. And she's like, I get a message back from her. Oh, thank God. I really thought that you were cussing me out. I said, I would never call you a see you next Tuesday. So anyhow, yes. I haven't finished it. It's chicken and rice with Brussels sprouts and carrots and some of those really delicious olives cut up into it. It really came out good, but I need to heat it up before I eat it because it's cold now. I grew up in St. Petersburg. We moved here in 1967 when I was 7 years old. I moved back in 2016 after my parents died and the husband went to jail, and I finished the job I was doing for my brother. So it's kind of like a rollerball of things, and Jim said, hey, maybe it's time for you to go back to Florida before the ex gets out of jail so that you're safe. And I said, yeah, I think you're right. And then at Christmas, his wife cussed me out for abandoning my brother. He's the one who told me to... Yeah, anyway. So, like I said, she's had it out for me from day one. So, I would make I would make deviled eggs for holidays because Jim loved my deviled eggs. I made him the way he liked. So she would start asking everybody else to bring deviled eggs just so that Jim would not be raving about his sister's deviled eggs. She didn't like me or Mom getting any accolades because it took away from her I don't know, her sense of well-being or something. She was very she was an insecure narcissist, if that sounds she was insecure. She was an only child and the world had to revolve around her. So yeah. Does he talk to me very often? No, not really. Have I tried to talk to him? Yes, multiple times. And I usually get her blocking me. She'd answer. He's had an injury, and I think he's had a couple of strokes. And she's always saying he's in rehab. He's getting rehabilitation right now. And he can't talk. And he's always exhausted afterwards and whatever. So he was diabetic long before I was. He inherited it from Mom's father. And I guess it skipped a generation because Mom didn't have it and her sister didn't have it. But Jim sure did. Okay, you've licked the plate clean. He's licking it and making it spin on the floor. No, that's the one who lives part of the year in the villages here in Florida and part of the year in North Carolina, near Asheville area. Though I think they're going to sell the house in North Carolina because they're talking about going into total life care like Mom and Dad were in, but down here. So, because Jim's going to need, he's getting more and more unstable on his feet due to neuropathy. So, Mama J, it's been a day, not a good day, not entirely a bad day, but definitely a day. Wow, that's just delightfully disgusting thing to say to somebody. Oh, come on. All right, then. I think we all blocked him. Even I went after that one. Do you know what's really, really wrong about that is to come into somebody's life who is a struggling person, who is homeless, and you're saying this, and it's so freaking wrong. Coco, I totally can imagine. You know what? I am going to. I'm going to add a little bit of something to this and heat it up. Okay. Did you know, this is the cutest little microwave. Wendy's makes a canned beanless chili. Beanless, no beans. I've used it a couple of times. It's pretty darn good. But I'm allergic to beans, so woohoo! Beanless chili, I can actually have it. Okay. Another. Just wanted 15 more seconds. Yep, there we go. It's hot. And Walmart now carries the individual packages. I love that because it makes it basically non-perishable for me. I can get one packet and cook it up in my little mini cooker and be good to go. Not a lot here, but and that's bacon Spam. Dollar General has them. They were, I think, $1.29 each at Dollar General, and they were, I think, $1.39 each at Walmart. So it wasn't too bad of a, but it's easier to get to a Walmart than it is a Dollar General. You know, St. Vincent de Paul is the charity here in St. Pete that has one of the shelters, the one that's really scary. It's like a block from St. Anthony's Hospital. St. Anthony's is on this side of the road, and St. Vincent de Paul's shelter is under the overpass of the interstate on this side. Literally under the interstate, goes over the top of it. And it's the one that I wouldn't stay at for love nor money because it's just they get, after they close their doors at night, they get hundreds of people with their backpacks and whatever, just camping out under the interstate right in front of them. And they sit there and smoke and do drugs and whatever. And yeah, not a safe place. It is. It's not a safe area. And the other shelter is on the property of the jail. So Pinellas County Jail. You have the regular jail, the juvenile court and juvie, and the magistrate's office, and right behind that is the third shelter. So it's where people who've just gotten out kind of transition. The chicken and rice that I made earlier, I got Brussels sprouts because I haven't had Brussels sprouts in ages. So I did it carrots, Brussels sprouts, and the olives. It came out good. Little on the salty side to it, so that the goat milk would cut some of the saltiness. No, the Tents and Containers is Pinellas Hope, and that's the one in between, kind of. Pinellas Hope is on 126th Avenue off of 49th Street. There is a men's shelter. I don't know. It's like a rehab group thing down on the south side of St. Pete. And there's a women's shelter actually right behind the mobile home park I used to live in. And it's big security gates and stuff because they take in women who are battered. So that people who suggest, going over towards Plant City and stuff, that's putting you in Grady Judd's area. And it's even worse in Pasco. If you go up around Newport Richey and stuff. Oh, the sheriff up there is just, they're terrible. I have a really good friend who got a job overseas. He was an engineer. Got a job overseas in like Kuwait or someplace. And before he left, he was married. He gave his wife a power of attorney in case something happened to him, so that she could handle all of the paperwork at home. The minute he was out of town, she used that power of attorney. She put the house in her name. She put all of his bank accounts in her name. She completely locked him out. He comes home from working overseas and he can't get in his house. He can't access his stuff. He was putting all of his money into the bank account that he was getting paid from overseas. She was benefiting. He wasn't. So he went to the house to try and get his stuff back. She called the police. The sheriff came out, and she said he's trespassing. And they said, okay, and one of them hit him over the head with a billy club. My friend is blind because of that, and he spent 10 years in jail because she framed him as breaking and entering and threatening her life. So... and he is a veteran. He is a veteran. He went into the military right at the end of Vietnam. She did this the minute he left town. He had no clue. He was depositing his checks. He was doing everything. thinking he's being a good husband, taking care of his wife. She used that power of attorney, divorced him, the whole 9 yards, while he was overseas. She said that he abandoned her, and she didn't know where he was. And he was in, Kuwait or Iraq or someplace like that. He was working, making very good money because, you go work as an engineer over there, not a grunt, an actual engineer. Yeah. He's an inventor, and he's written some children's stories with the help of a ghostwriter, of course, because he's completely blind. And he was in the Mormon church. She got him kicked out of the Mormon church because she framed him. So, yeah. It's bad all the way around. He has the cutest sense of humor. He always jokes that he has this seeing eye dog. It's a Chihuahua. He's 6'4". He's like, I have a little trouble holding on to the harness. I have no idea what happened with her, but he's in Clearwater and living in income through the VA. He has low income housing. He could sue the police, but he wouldn't win. Not in that county. That came out really good. Why is it blocking people saying Happy 4th of July? And that's really weird. It's not only blocking it, but I can't unblock it. Yeah. It like grayed it out and put the little eye next to it, but when I click on the eye, it won't let me undo it. So yeah, exactly. We've been friends for a long time. I met him through the Mormon church. And I re-met him from a hot tub party at a friend's house, God, like 10 years after the whole Mormon church stuff, when I first joined. He is friends with my best friend who lives up in Michigan, Ed. And he and Ed, I guess they went to school together at some point or something. They've been friends anyway for even longer than I've known either of them. So every time Ed comes down, the three of us get together. We go out to dinner or lunch or whatever. We have a day out together. But Charles and I are putter golfing. And he had never done putter golf before, and it had been a few years for me, but I was still I'm something of a natural at putter golf. I had to be good at something athletic, or not actually athletic, but requires some sort of skill, and putter golf seems to be my weird mode of actually having some ability at it. So I'm leaning over to make a putt, and he leans in close to my ear. Now, you have to know that Charles was an engineer. He worked in construction and stuff for years, and he worked on the rebuild of the Skyway Bridge, the current bridge that's there. And they have these giant pillars, the pylons, 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 the pylons. He has a shoe with a special filler to weight it to make it easier for him to walk. But anyway, so I knew about this from the hot tub party that he was missing half a foot. He was a little shy, embarrassed about it. And I was like, hey, that's, life happens. You survived it. You've got a great story, the whole 9 yards. And he leans into me as I'm going to putt, and he says, now you can tell your friends you've been out with a guy who's got 1.5 feet. I putted wild, needless to say, and I laughed for like the next 15 minutes because I looked at him and I said, you did not just say that. Yes, he did. So too funny. Anyway, that was his kind of sense of humor. I hadn't seen him in 25 years because of, going to Richmond and stuff. And I didn't know the whole drama about the marriage and the going overseas and what the wife did or any of that. So I see this fairly handsome man sitting in a chair waiting for the ride to pick him up after church one Sunday. And I talked to him for a few minutes, and I had Uno back then. Uno cozies up to him because Uno recognizes when people appreciate his brand of comfort. And Charles is a big lover of dogs anyway. So we talked for a couple of minutes. I had no clue I was talking to my old friend because I hadn't seen him in so long, and he wasn't blind the last time I saw him. So that was at the Seminole Ward, and I started going to St. Pete Ward, and I sat down next to him one day, and I got a text message from my friend Ed. And I said, I'm actually at church right now. And he says, oh, look and see if you can find Charles. And I said, what is his last name? I can't remember it for the life of me. And he told me the last name. And I said, I'm texting it back. And I said, okay, I will ask as soon as church is over if anybody knows Charles, whatever his last name is. And I was sitting next to this fellow, and his head came up and he looked over at me. Looked as in turned in my direction, but he didn't really look since he's blind. And he goes, what was that name again? And I said it, and he goes, who are you talking to? And I said, I'm texting my friend Ed up in Michigan. He goes, oh my gosh. He says, he's asking about me. And I looked at him and I went, oh my gosh. It's you. And he goes, who are you? And I said, Rose. I said, remember the hot tub party? And he goes, oh my gosh. And then we took ourselves out of the back of the church and into the lobby area so we weren't disturbing anybody else, because we were doing all of this, of course, in whispers. But even so, no, he did not play ball today. We both were kind of having a stressed out day. He did play with his food ball, though, the one that looks like a beehive that he chases around the floor. But yeah, so that's how we found out that there was this friend that I was trying to find, and that Ed was trying to find, and there he was sitting right next to me in church. So I reconnected him with Ed, and so now every year when Ed comes down, he and Charles get together. Charles is on again, off again, dating this woman who's basically, I think she's taking advantage of him for his money, but yeah. I think he should make it off again permanently, but it's not my business, so I just don't say anything. Anyhow, I need to find out where they have the garbage pickup. Rice with chicken. I didn't have a whole lot left. I just ate it. Technically, I made enough for one serving, but I wasn't feeling great, so I ate half, and then I just ate the other half about 2.5 hours later. So I used the rice robot. I used about 5 of these olives from the new jar. I used some of the brine. I'm going to toss out what's left here because it's kind of yucky looking. But I used some of the brine, and which is why it came out a little too salty. Next time I won't use as much. But I used Brussels sprouts that I cut so that it was like shaved Brussels sprouts, and I had the rainbow carrots, so I cut up about 6 of those. So, and then 5 of the olives I diced up with their little lemon and orange rind parts. So the lemon and orange peel was just super perfect. So yeah, I didn't use black olives. I used those. And it was, sorry, y'all got me laughing so hard earlier that my eyes started watering. And now my nose is running from the eyes watering. No, I didn't have a bug. It's the heat, number one. It upsets my stomach when I get over hot. And I got way over hot on Thursday, waiting between one hotel and the next. Check out from one, moving into the other. Oh, Mrs. Newman would love those in a martini. They are delicious. I don't know if they have Walmart, though, in Canada. I may have to get a care package up to her. If I get the van, I can drive up there and see her. So. Oh, Mama J, I feel for you. The neuropathy is just, it's awful. Hernandez, I'm okay. I like when Gina says it. Not Gina. Giovanni Magazzini. She says, "How you doing?" She doesn't put the R in there, and all I can hear is that one of those mafioso punks going, "How you doing? How you doing?" How far am I from? I'm in Florida and she's in Canada, so she's a drive. She's a big drive. I think she's right across from Detroit, Michigan, though, where she is living in Canada. So I can drive up to Detroit, see my friend Ed, go across into Canada and check out the gals at Shady Pines, and come back and visit with other friends in Chicago or in Detroit. So, and the laundry room must be right across from me because all I'm hearing is tick, 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 something going in the dryer. That sound of the tumbler of the dryer. Katie Beck, are you old enough to remember Monty Python? No, I would not move to Michigan. I would go up in the summer or maybe early fall when it's cooling off, but not in the wintertime. I would not want to be up there. Okay, do you remember the skit where they're stranded in a they're like sailors stranded in a boat, and the skit starts out with, "How long has it been, sir?" Well, that's a really personal question, don't you think? No, I meant how long have we been adrift, sir? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's too cold for me in Michigan. I would not survive the ice and snow. No, at least not that I've seen. I haven't looked at it this evening. Yeah, early fall, early or late spring would be ideal. But this part of the year, it's as hot up there as it is down here. Yeah, I put it on my Facebook page. Not that I get a whole lot of traction there. So I'm trying to think of the term. We can be used even if it's a singular. We just meaning, God, what is that freaking term? My mom was the English major, not me. Yeah, I don't remember what the term is. But there is, even if it's a single person saying it, they can say we, meaning oh, frickin' hell. Never mind. My brain is just not going to pull together what I want to say. That's true, Sean. That is true. But it still gets pretty damn hot up there. And though not as hot as it is like here in Texas and Arizona and stuff, but it still gets pretty hot. Yep. Yeah, it can be used, I think the word is colloquial, something like that. Or something that not just you would be interested in. You can use the we as a general term. I'm needing a little fan going right now. Let's turn on my cute little orange fan. I love this little fan. It does get hot in Texas. Thank you, Mama J. No, I'm in Florida, but I'm just saying it gets hot in Texas. Okay. There is someone on here with the screen name of the Camper King. Seattle is perfect year round. I totally missed what you misspelled, but that's okay. I can believe it. It was hot, and the only thing that kept it from being as hot is it rained a lot here today. Oh, the quell instead of well. Okay, that's not a problem. You should follow Steph's travels. She and her dog travel the country in a minivan. Yes, I think somebody else sent me a link to her too. Chris is here. Fall, winter, and summer. No real spring, huh? Um, Last year when I was still in my trailer, but
It was so ugly. So bad. So bad. So far behind on things. That's totally fine. Again, like, her car's like perpetually